Hello. Hello. Alright, let's see how quick the delay is. Hi. I almost streamed this on Twitch because of the delay YouTube gives, but let's see how it works. I'm the only one home right now, so we should have the entire Wi-Fi to us, so you're a nerd. Driving, oh no. Alright, so the goal of today's stream is very simple. You can ask me anything about the Shattered Seas. And we're going to be talking about it while I'm driving, by the way. While I'm driving. Not in real life. I'm not that chaotic. I'm not... I don't hate the world that much. Let's get to the streaming booth. Hi. Let me make sure I have chat up. Let me turn the volume up real quick. Oh, I already crashed it. That didn't count. We are making it through this car ride. Alright, welcome to the bus. This is my little bus I have for us today, so go ahead. Let me open the doors. Come on in. Come on in. We're gonna make it through. We're gonna make it through. I don't actually know why I thought you were streaming while I actually driving. Imagine, though. Imagine. Alright, everyone get on the bus. Get on the bus. Everyone get on the bus. Let's talk about Shattered Seas now. We're gonna text and drive. Who crashed already? That wasn't me, but... What is that? Okay. Alright, let's go. We're gonna die on this bus. No, you're not. Alright, let's start questions. Let's start questions. Why is this so quiet? One moment. There we go. Alright, ask questions. Let's start asking some questions about the Shattered Sea. Don't worry about which side of the road we're on. That guy is... I hope you guys are safely secure. That's a car. Don't worry, I know what I'm doing. I'm certified. Oh, we have a screen! That's cool. Why is the centering a little weird? One moment, one moment. There we go. I forgot to put chat back up. So what exactly sparked the drive to write the Shattered Sea? Impulsive. So fun fact, I had the idea for the concept of the Shattered Sea for a while. Like, the idea of using YouTube's community posts to make a choose your own adventure was on my mind for a while. And so I kept thinking about that idea. I kept talking about it in the secret corner with the Patreons too, of like, it would be cool, but I didn't want to dedicate myself to it because it seemed like it would be such a long-term project, which it was. And I sort of got the idea of doing a choose your own adventure from Markiplier. If you ever played, or if you ever went through like In Space with Markiplier, but I didn't want to do exactly the same thing with like branching stories and whatnot. I wanted to make a more linear story, kind of like we're writing it together. I still called it a choose your own adventure though. So there's that. Oh shoot! Okay. 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 Oh man. Hi, Flavvy. Shoot. Shoot. That's fine. But so anyways, one night one night I killed that panda. One night I kind of was like, I was thinking about it so much, I felt such an urge to start it. I just impulsively did it one night, and that's when it started. That's okay. That's okay. We'll just start again. We'll start again on the Autobahn. Alright, Ethan got 3 questions. 1, Spez, we're going to be the most legendary trio. Is that foreshadowing for her siblings going to be the other 2 legendary beasts when they grow up? Oh, shoot. Oh, Ethan, you did this. Yes. Absolutely. So, I'm not a fan of telling the same story twice, right? I kind of like to tell a story once, and I might revisit some themes of story I've told before. But usually, I will try to avoid telling anything too similar twice. So, to me, from the very beginning, I knew the story was going to be about the legendary beasts. And the very first choice you were given, Dream of the Frostborn, the Flame-Winged One, the Stormbringer. Dude, what are you doing? I knew from the very beginning this was a story about the legendary beasts and Ho-Oh resurrecting them to become their legendary selves. So from the very beginning, I knew I was going to kill Spaz, and I knew Spaz was going to be one of the legendary beasts. So it was always going to be her siblings were always going to be the next legendary beast, because I wanted them to sort of be a family. Kind of how Zapdos, Articuno, and Moltres, they refer to each other as brothers. These will be Spez's brother and sister, right? So that's exactly why I left that there. They are definitely going to be the legendary beasts, because I don't want to tell another legendary beast origin tale. That guy ran into me. Dude. Alright, second question from Ethan. Is that foreshadowing for a sibling? Okay, well, I guess that's one question. So, oh, God! Oh, I wasn't looking! Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Move, panda! Okay. Alright, let's see what's next. Who parks like that in the middle of the highway anyway? No. 2, how did Spez go back in time? Ho calling in a favor from Dialga. Hi, Freeman. By the way, there's gonna be a lot of spoilers for the Shatter Sea. For anyone who hasn't read it yet, I don't recommend this stream for you. I probably should have, like, put a spoiler warning. One moment. Why am I pausing? I can just park in the middle of the road. Let's do this, and then hit. There we go. There's gonna be a lot of spoilers. Okay, so anyways, how did Spez go back in time? Did Ho call in a favor from Dialga? Yes. That was, in fact, Dialga coming in with a favor. And the reason being on why Dialga rescued Spez is the fact that she is going to help her siblings grow to be the other 2 legendary beasts. So, yeah, it was Dialga. Dialga came in with the clutch. So here's my question, even though I already got the answer. Was there any way we could have saved Lunessa? No! And neither was I ever going to save those cars. I even make it that far. I can still see the stupid barriers. Thank you, Log, or LOG. So, yes and no. Lunessa, in a sense, was doomed at that point in the story. So, I needed a role model for Spaz in the story. I needed her to see someone sacrifice everything. Her life, her future, everything. With the idea that by doing so, she could keep hope for everyone else alive. So, in that sense, Lunessa, at the time of the story, was the one to fulfill that role. That's fine, we can keep going. We can keep going. And, so, I say yes, you could save her in the sense that if the options to get closer to Lunessa and not really let her take the mentor role was chosen, it could have been someone else. It could have been Oppius, Publius, who took on that role, so forth. But in the way the story developed, Lunessa was the one for that role, to be that example, that final lesson to Spez that it's okay to let go of everything if it means, like, sort of carrying on the torch. So, yeah. So, yes and no. She was kind of doomed at that point of the story. Number 150. Will we get a season 2 with the Houndour, the one who becomes Orochi, and the guy who hatched from the golden egg as the protagonist? No. No, the... Guys, don't text and drive. That guy's dead. That guy's... Yeah. Not in service. No. There won't be a season 2 following Orochi. Now, the reason for that is... Arashi's tale was told in a roleplay with friends. I do plan on making a short story exploring his life, kind of how I've done before with other my characters in the Exilium roleplay server, like Hostis and whatnot, where I'll probably make a few short stories centered around him, exploring his path as the savior of Mansa. But I don't really want to delve too much into it, because I already told that story, even though it was in public, right? Or in private. So, no, in that sense. And the golden egg, and the guy who hatched from the golden egg, that was Marcus, by the way. The Houndour, his name is Marcus on Zero. And he later becomes Orochi, the god of magic. In Mansa, the first of a series of Fakemons I've made for Mansa specifically. Hi, Slushy. We're talking about the Shattered Sea. So, can there be a folder of all the chapters? In fact, at the end of this stream, I will be releasing a master document that has chapter 1 through 8 all in one document, as well as a updated map for the actual era, like a parchment map of an in-universe map of the era. I thought about originally making maps for each chapter, but I decided against it because Google Docs is already struggling enough. Oh gosh. I'm doing great, Slushy, by the way. I hope you're doing good. Maybe more of a monster question in general here. Oh, the three birds and the big gods we're aware of, but legends like Ho and Dialga do exist. How did the birds end up as the main gods? Dang it! Dang it! I wasn't looking. I kept... We're fine. We're still going. Everyone okay? I'm sure you guys are fine. So, the other gods do exist in Mansa, by the way. So, within, like, the roleplay server Exilium and, in general, the in-universe knowledge, people in... Oh, shoot! People in Mansa don't know about the other gods other than the three main birds, Articuno, Zapdos, and Moltres. They are the main gods. Is my headlights out? My headlights are out. I'm driving blind. My lord, did you run someone over? Slushy, don't worry about it. Just shut up, enjoy your snackies. That was rude. But, so the story of the birds becoming gods, I actually haven't fully written. I haven't explored that quite yet. I might explore it in some short stories, but for now, I haven't fully explored it. I have some ideas in mind of how they became gods. Like, specifically, they were mortals at one point. I like having that theme that these gods that are not the ancient gods, like Dialga, Palkia, so forth, were once upon a time mortals within the world that ascended to godhood. I really like that idea and that play. So, I don't have, like, a solid answer. Anyways, that's kind of, the best I got for that. Oh, shoot. That's on me. That's my fault. Have you tried turning on your headlights? Real, the headlights are out. Is there a way to read all the stories of Shattered Sea, like, not just Spez's story? This thing is scraping. This thing's broken. Can we go... Can we get McDonald's on this trip? Yeah, sure. So... I'm not sure how many more stories I'm gonna tell within that time period of the Timber Wars. But I can definitely maybe, like, make a folder for it or something. For any, like, stories told within the time period of Shattered Sea. So, we can see. We'll see. I probably am not going to explore heavily much on Team Acolyte, for example. I kind of want to leave Spez be. She's been through 3 years of torment. Let the girl vibe for the rest of her life. She's earned it, alright? I think she earned some peace. I should turn my headlights on. If the people of Monster only know about the 3 main birds, do other continents worship other legendaries? Yes. So, there is another, land I've made within the same universe called Astera, where the main deities are Lunala and Solgaleo, and they don't know about the birds or the other legendaries, they just know about Lunala and Solgaleo. So, yes, there are other lands where Pokemon worship other legendaries. Oh, yeah, we can get McDonald's. My lord, do you have a license? No, I do not. Okay, here's an actual question. Was there a choice you hope we would have picked rather than the one we chose? Oh, shoot. That's fine. That's fine. So, for an option I wish you guys would have chose, there was one I remember very clearly I wanted the choice to be for. And it was in Chapter 1. It was back in Chapter 1, and I wanted Spez to play chess against the noble lady in Pescus Village. Lady Clodion. The Meowstick. I don't know if you guys remember the Meowstick. I wanted to play chess against her. You guys denied me my chess vibe, and I am upset. We never got to play chess. So, yeah, that was the one option. We didn't get to play chess. Y'all suck. For, like, heavy story choices, there's not really any I can think of I would have preferred. I kind of liked all the choices. Here's the thing. This is a secret between you and me. I stacked the deck, alright? I chose choices I liked. So every choice there was, I liked to some degree. No matter what, I win. So, not only did I chess vibes, but y'all made him write fight scenes. I'm proud of y'all. Bruh. Real quiet. So, oh man. What's the extent of Pokemon species available in the region? I know my OC Brick has a very odd choice, so I am curious what all species live there. I'm curious too. I've been debating on making a proper regional Pokédex for Mansa, just so everyone knows the different species that are actually native there. But the only reason I've been reluctant on it is I don't want to, like, lock people in the Exilium roleplay server from, you know, choosing their favorite Pokemon. So, the species for sure, like, the closest thing we have to a Mansa Pokédex is the Mansa expansion PMD&D homebrew PDF, where I list a lot of Pokemon from, like, the swamp, the sea, etc. That is the closest we have to a Mansa Pokédex. Also, here's the challenge. Talk in that New York accent for a minute. No. I sort of actually remember Spez playing chess, and if that didn't happen, I have fabricated memories. I just wanted to play chess. Will Novia ever evolve into a Lucario, or will she forever be stuck as a little bean? She will at some point during her adventures with Team Acolyte evolve to a Lucario. I was just very mean to her. Swampers live in monster swamps. Yeah, they do. Probably one last question before I go to bed. Aside from Spez, who was your favorite character in the whole Choose Your Adventure? Spez was not my favorite character. Let's get that straight. My one and true joy was Elias. I loved Elias, the little fletchling bird. I loved him. I loved him. He was great. I loved his character. He's my favorite. Elias is my favorite, and no one can take that from me. It's so much fun. Elias is so much fun. He's a bro. He's a bro. Okay, that makes sense. I mostly assume because she was the one you wrote the most. That's true. I like Spez. I really got to know her character. Became one with her character. I shattered her windshield, but we're okay. Elias was my favorite. I need confidence every. Also, even if you add a dex, I'm probably going to go crazy species because it's really funny having a normal group and then the one weird one. True. Why are you driving the wrong side of the road? I mean, it's the right side of the road in Britain. No! I do what I want. I will drop you off the bus. When's the sun going to rise? No, I'm not British. I felt like representing Britain today. While on the German Autobahn. Well, excuse me, British, my lord, but y'all keep wrecking people. I haven't wrecked anyone. Question, is there any link or connection between the title of the last part of the Chapter 8 and the Aurora Sea on Exilian's map? No comment. No comment. You ever question it again? I will send Dino after you. Oh, shoot. Oh, I was looking at chat. That was on my bad. There's a pile of red cars in the rear view. Ignore it. What if any was the inspiration for Aurelia as a villain? Like any other characters in other media you've seen / read? One character I was really inspired by for Aurelia's own character was Azula from The Last Airbender. I really like that sort of controlled, calm, psychopathic vibe she gives, you know? With a more like a political twist to her almost. Like where she is very, she's very politically savvy, very charismatic within the noble courts, and very manipulative. While also having her powers as like a near... Like, Monster's one and only necromancer it's had. So yeah, Azula was probably the biggest inspiration behind her. If only there was a side of the road where the cars are going the same way rather than right at you. I know, it would make life easier, but I'll find it. That panda wants to die, man. Rigo is literally keeping count, my lord. No, he isn't. He's not. Since evolving to Lucario involves love and friendship, how specifically would that have happened? Platonic friendships or crush-related? Platonic friendship. Or maybe crush-related. I don't know. With Novia. I know... So, fun fact, I consider having Novia as a love interest to Spaz. That was something I did consider for a little bit, but I ultimately did not go through with it, because I felt I couldn't find any good reason within the message of the story to sort of integrate it in. So it kind of, I'm more focused on Spez's, like, internal character with the Wisp and stuff like that, instead of going the relationship route. It seems our king is trying to learn how to rage bait. No. This would be way more difficult if the cars were swerving towards you. It really would. I just joined. What driving sim are you playing? BeamNG Drive! Well, at least there aren't pedestrians on the road. Yeah, there's a highway. Oh gosh, my door! My door! You guys okay back there? I'm sure you guys are fine. So what is Aurelia's ultimate fate? Aurelia dies. So the next, like, protagonist to take up the torch Spez left behind was of course the Houndour Marcus there. Marcus on Zero. The second Aurora. Dang it. Oh, dang it! He would go on to be an integral part in connecting a bunch of characters in Cara Vista to sort of overthrow that place. Because Cara Vista was founded by Kara, a pirate born during the Timber Wars era. And, but it was more Petrus who really organized it into a slaving nation, oligarchy, essentially. Doors are for loser anyway, so true. And so he would become an integral part in helping connect a lot of characters to overthrow. I can't turn. I literally can't turn. I can't turn. I'm trying to turn. I'm really trying to turn. I can't. Okay, I can turn now. I turned. Okay. All right. Bro. So, yeah, anyways, yeah, so, these characters would become part of Marcus's sort of found family, adoptive family. And one of these characters named Narissa, she's an Umbreon, and went from Caravisa's one of their most notorious and dangerous bounty hunters, with a code that she never hurts kids, to being the one to kill Aurelia in a very graphic way. I thought about writing an epilogue area to the Shatter Seas, to where I would describe her death scene, but I decided it was way too dark for the story. Like, immensely dark. And decided it was not fitting towards the end of the story. It wouldn't have been fitting. Okay. Okay. Let me... Speaking of the Wisp, is the Wisp an ancient Talonflame or Ho or both? Both. So, the origins of Ho-Oh, as described, was she used to be a Talonflame in Mansa during the Pharaoh Age. And she would fall in love with Lugia, the Silver Bird. And from there, upon her mortal death, would ascend to become Ho-Oh, the Queen of the Birds. So, yeah, she's both. Will we get a story with Marcus as the protag? Probably short stories, nothing past that nothing past short stories, though. I don't think I'm going to dedicate an entire Choose Your Own Adventure to him, because his story is already finished, right? It's seen at the end of Shatter Seas. Both Aurora's stories have seen their way through in terms of being part of saving Mansa. Mansa's safe now. Mansa's in no divine threat. And so, in that sense, they both accomplish their goal. So, that's already done. Tomorrow's gonna be in so much debt after it. Nah. Oh, man. Oh, man. Is that EOS Dungeon soundtrack we hear in the background? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. You know, I'm rebelling for the Aurelia explanation. Going on strike. Bruh. Why did Ho say Spez already met the mother of Marcus, and is he based off of Marcus Aurelius? So, Aurelia becomes Marcus's mother from the beginning. But because her whole goal was to take the egg, right, and utilize it in a special ritual that would give her divine powers. However, she lost her necromancy abilities thanks to Spaz. So what she tried to do was she did in the end get to the egg and essentially adopted him as her son after finding a lover in Trista. But she failed to really manipulate him to become her thrall, and she was forced to sort of disappear and was sort of broken away from Marcus thanks to Moltres' influence and Moltres sort of protecting him. And they would never again really cross paths up into the end of Aurelia's life. The story is canon to Monson lore. But I want to know how Marcus saves Monson. It doesn't have to be a choose your own adventure. I think I am going to write a short story about the scenarios. I want to write about how he helped Caravista. I want to go ahead and write his adventure, like a short story adventure of him traveling from the now freed Caravista turned New Eternia to facing down Shadow Lugia, because I think it would be really fun. And also write some short stories about Nebius on Zero, former Tempestix, who helped with that ultimate goal. I need some water. Here, Quicks, take the wheel for me real quick, Quicks. I'm gonna get some water. What was the significance of our second to last choice? The one where we chose what to give to Orashi. It was very significant. So, by choosing that option, you affected the way Marcus would sort of go through his ascendancy towards godhood. And it was a nice sort of like to the end conclusion to it. And so it helped Marcus sort of reawaken from his dream while recovering after the battle with Shadow Lugia. And it was a lot of fun. It's out of all the significant choices, not the biggest significant choice, but it was a really fun like homage to the first choice and sort of coming full circle. And it was really nice to give him a little boost of fire, warmth from Moltres, and yeah. Because you're throwing out names I've never heard while accurately recreating the average driver in my state. Nice. Is the story canon Monson lore? It is. How Lugia became Shadow Lugia. That's a long story. Basically, it came down to when the old Eternia fell over 1,000 years ago and magic was lost to Mansa. Lugia used all his powers to keep the fabric of Mansa from unraveling with the collapse of the Pillars of Magic, and it opened up his heart to the corruption, which affected him and changed him to Shadow Lugia. And so the three birds work together to sort of seal away magic for a time being to keep Shadow Lugia in stasis, in a deep sleep. Hence why throughout the entire story, you don't see any of Lugia's influence, despite him being the king of the birds. And who was Spez, Shink's friend? I killed a man. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh man! Oh. That's not good. All right, DJ Shadow, you guys are in charge of fixing the bus, okay? Okay. You killed several men. Oh. Man. Okay, and who was Spez's Shink's friend? That was Altus. And I have more in store for Altus. That's not the end of his story, so, you know, don't worry about that. That's not the end of Altus' story. Lord, we can't be spending so much money on buses. Yes, we can. So, yeah, I'm gonna leave the answer about Altus at that. And as well, same thing for Quix's question. Do Spez and Altus ever reunite? I will go ahead and say no comment. No comment. All right. While they work on fixing the bus, let's take a brief intermission. Because I want to talk about the main thing that really inspired this story, or the imagery of the story itself. As you can see, Aurora's is a huge part of the actual sort of tale. And that came from one single animated short, and I want to show you guys it. I want you guys to see this animated short that I took so much inspiration from. I'm gonna link it here. The tale has a happy ending, LOG. But this is really what like sort of kicked off a lot of inspiration for Mansa. Like this short animated film, I don't know if any of you guys have seen it, really made me want to tell sort of mythic stories within the Pokemon universe. And I found it so interesting. And it's so good. I want you guys to see it. It's really good. Here, let me shrink this. Moonman or woman. The constellations, the stars. It really inspired a lot about Mansa and Mansa's magic system as a whole, as well as the ideas of the legendaries themselves with Lugia, the birds. It's such a good film. Let's go, Beyblades! And really, it was this like short animated film that made me want to tell a story like Spez's, to where they start as just another person, but rise to be part of the makeup of the world. and become part of mythology of their world. It's so good, man. It's so good. It's so good. Oh, it's so beautiful. But yeah, it was really this animated film that inspired so much about what I wanted to do with Monsa. And like, I've already made Monsa when I first saw this short film, but it really inspired me to take the direction I did. And it was awesome. So that was, I really wanted you guys to see that, because I wanted you guys to see sort of like where a lot of my inspiration comes from. I always like find a lot of inspiration. I said fix the car. I'll do it myself. Are we stuck? We're stuck. Oh no, I know how to get through this. One more. Everyone off the bus. Everyone off the bus. Let me fix it. Let me fix it. All right, I'm getting us a new bus. I'm getting us a new bus. Don't worry. Don't worry about it. We're getting a new one. Okay. Let me bring back up chat. But I love Okami. Okami is a really good game. I really loved it. If the other legendaries exist, is Garatina the devil from the Bible evil, or more like myth-accurate Hades? Not really either. They're their own thing. They're vibe. They're not really evil. They have their own thing going on. So the thing about the world Monster resides in is the realm itself is called Zadaris, and it's made up with several other friends. So Garatina is not my character. I don't touch Garatina. I had to fix a glitch, Slushy, don't worry. Oh gosh. That was a great dodge. That was an amazing dodge. I want props. I want props. Oh, man. You know, some rain would make this more relaxing. Yeah, you're right. Do we have rain? Do we have rain? I don't think we have rain. Are my headlights out? My headlights are broken. That's fine. We'll be okay. We don't have... I forgot to turn the music back on. One moment. And you're not getting congratulations for avoiding situations you purposely put yourself into. That's very rude, DJ. Huh. Huh. We might have to... Oh, gosh. The front left tire is broken. Oh, man. Am I stuck on the rails? Now we're good. He's all confused getting us mixed up. It was a hard crash. If Garatina isn't in the cause of Big Bad, would that roll fall under Perfect Necrozma? I know how to say Pokemon names. No comment. I don't control. I don't control Necrozma. For Mansa, the big deity bad was actually Shadow Lugia, and that was the big threat to Mansa. Mansa was nearly obliterated for the imbalance that was happening there. She's just confused. Guys, please, I need berry. I should turn my headlights on. That might help. Alright, I need more questions. I need more questions. Or I'm gonna start crashing out. Is my door open? Oops. I think I avoided that guy. All right, let's focus in the questions about the Shattered Seed specifically. Let's focus in on more Shattered Seed questions. In regards to the larger mythos, it's still sort of work in progress. Can you tell us more details about modern monster nations? I kind of want to focus more on the Shattered Sea questions. So what was the thought behind choosing Latin and Greek as languages featured in Monza, as well as that being the cultures that define Monza in general? It began because I really like Roman history, and I was learning a lot of Roman history at the time! Man. Yeah, so anyways, it began because at that time, I was learning a lot about Roman history, and I really loved learning more about the classical era and maybe want to write something in an era kind of like that. So that's originally why we began with the sort of Latin. And that also reflects in why Greek is the more ancient language of the two, is the idea that the Greek culture or whatnot sort of like predated the Roman culture in the way it influenced Roman culture. And so Greek is like the older language of the two. That panda deserved it. And so that's essentially the inspiration behind it. I just really like Roman stuff, and I wanted to write things to be a Roman style. Have you tried to add a horror element or a horror story for something in Monza? I have not. I'm not a big horror fan. That's just me personally. I know some people probably would love some like horror style stuff. Me personally, not a big fan of horror things. That's just me though. That's just me being boring. No streaming while driving, thank you. Quiet Ninja. You did that. You did that. You killed that man, Ninja. You made me have to look at chat. So that was kind of the inspiration of why those languages were chosen. Part of me wishes I made Monza their own unique nations, but it's so far in the lore and stuff at this point, I feel like it would cause more problems trying to replace them with an original language than just rolling with the Latin and Greek, so. How are ghost Pokemon made? Actual ghosts like Gengar, not merely connection to spirits. Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! I hit the barrier. I drifted into the divider. Oh man! So, the ghosts are made either two-way. They're either made by the natural process of two ghosts sort of like their energies fusing from their love for each other to create an egg, or they died, refused Yveltal's blessing of death and rebirth, and fell back down to the realm with their soul intact and became a ghost. So, two ways. This is why you don't have a license. Shut up, Ninja. So that's kind of why. Did the plan for Flavia's story change from the Timber Wars vid to it being featured in the Shattered Sea? So, kind of. So what I knew about Flavius before I decided to include him into the Shattered Seas, Flavius Silva, was he disappears shortly after the he disappears right before the Great Fire, the Great Burning, and he died to Aurelian Petrus. Those are the two things I knew for sure from his backstory. Everything else in between was kind of empty. So that's what I worked with. Oh man. Oh, it's stuck. It's stuck. You said that Foxfire's animation was a big inspiration for parts of Monza, and are there any other inspirations you say also played a part in Monza or the Shattered Sea story? A lot of inspirations. Another big inspiration was Star Wars, the Star Wars TV show Andor. That was also a really big inspiration. I really loved the political storytelling and the characters, like normal people just trying to survive in a galactic Civil War with the Empire and stuff like that. So that was also a huge inspiration for the Shattered Sea. Another big inspiration for the Shattered Sea as well was really just Roman history, in the tales of the Roman civil wars, these great classical battles for the Republic of Rome, and the Octavian and Marcus in their big civil war, to where Octavian became Augustus. So those were like a lot of historical inspiration. Star Wars was a huge inspiration with Andor, and animated films, like Foxfires, was also another huge inspiration. What character or people did you base Spez on, like inspiration for her character? Well, there went our door. For Spez specifically, the biggest inspiration for her, if I had to go off of like a character in media, probably would be, I think, Steven from Steven Universe. Like that sort of arc where he is rather hopeful, diplomatic, trying to find a way to solve the situation peacefully. I think he's a pretty good inspiration as well. Sir, you need to stop looking back to see if they're okay. You obliterated them into fine dust. Okay. Am I going the right way? One moment, I need to check the map. I'm going back, ain't I? I need to turn around. I'm going the wrong... I was supposed to be going this way. I took a wrong turn. What am I stuck on? Oh, the barrier. We're stuck. Don't worry about it. I get stuck again? Bro. Okay. What was the hardest thing to write for the sword? Lunessa's death. Lunessa's death was the hardest thing to write. For me personally. That was really hard. Because I really liked Lunessa. And she reminded me of one of my family members. And so it was really hard to kill her off. I did, though. She did. That was really hard to write, though. And when I knew she was gonna die, like, when I came to the conclusion for the story she needed to die, that was really hard. And I almost didn't go through with it. I almost wanted Lunessa to live. But ultimately, in the end, I decided to kill her off for the story. That was really hard to write for me. The second hardest thing to write was the stupid tournament. I should have never offered you guys a tournament. I regret that tournament. You understand? I was struggling on that tournament writing. Okay, there was so much action, and I had to be condensed into one part for the pacing of Chapter 8. I regret giving you guys a tournament. So, I suppose another question I have is, were there any parts of the Shattered Seed you either wished you could expand or rewrite? Or do you think, nah, I'm good with everything there? There is one thing I regret, not giving Novia a bigger character development. I think Elias had, like, some character development, but I feel like I really missed an opportunity with, Novia, and I really wish I gave her some more, uh, I did not do that right. I did not do that right. I really wish I gave Novia a bigger character arc. That's my one regret. Am I missing a wheel? All right, guys, we're gonna take a break from the bus. Go stretch your legs. Go ahead and stretch your legs. We're gonna look at something else here now. All right, so I have made a master document. It's pretty simple. The master document itself just sort of removed a lot of the chapter 1 in quotation part 1, so it's just the chapters. I did leave in the options, like the different options there were, while also leaving some context for anyone reading it, like everything's kind of finalized, everything's locked in place. And I did make a brand new map. This is an in-universe map of Mansa. It's not the most accurate map, purposely. But it shows the region itself right before the Timber Wars. Like, you can see where Maltona was, where the Crown of Astera is, the Gold Sun Kingdom of Ontario, and of course the Tribal Kingdom of Planora. And so I'm going to be releasing this to everyone after the stream. So that's definitely going to be cool. Also, fun fact, I forgot to mention originally in my ending of the Chapter 8, and it's my fault, I feel a bit bad about it, is I forgot to note that this was made by Neek0. This is Neek0's art for our God of Magic. And just for the fun of it, here's another little fun thing Neek0 drew of Marcus Ororashi with the rest of the legendary beasts. I just wanted to share that. And then one other thing I did want to share as well is, let me pull it up, is for the Patreons. There's also going to be a variant for the Patreon. So anyone who joins the Patreon, they're going to get another master document with comments throughout the entire thing. Like, here's an example of one, is I'm leaving comments here about my different thoughts throughout the story and whatnot. And so from here in the options, you see, from the very beginning, I knew the story was going to be about one of the legendary beasts. So this first question, in my opinion, was one of the most critical in the entire story, as it was going to determine if this was the origins of either Entei, Raikou, or Suicune. And so there's going to be a lot more comments and whatnot throughout everything. I'm still working on it, so it's probably not going to be released today or later today in the evening. But if you want to get access to this, it's going to be a Patreon-only kind of thing. I spent a lot of time. I think I'm monetizing. It's time to monetize. So, there's that. Let's get back to normal questions. So, why does he have so many keys? Don't worry about that. Alright, everyone, get back in. Get back in. Bus is leaving. Let me close some of this stuff. Alright, let's roll. Alright, what's the next question? If you could recommend other PMD and or answer Pokemon fanfics set in the medieval setting, what would they be? I've been trying to find some. I love the concept. I personally don't know that many. I'm awful. I'm awful, okay? I haven't read really any fan fictions at all because I'm lazy. So, good luck. Alright, next question. Next question. Why do the birds put all the realm's fate on a handful of Pokemon? Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Oh, dear birds, what have I done? Okay, so, why do the birds put all the realm's fate on a handful of Pokemon? The in-universe reason for that is, the in-universe reason for that is the gods themselves try to not sort of dictate the mortal's will. There's a certain wanting free will for the mortals within the realm. And so they try to not often intervene in the politics of mortals. However, and so thus they choose sort of chosen ones or starbounds or whatnot to sort of help guide Pokemon in the right direction. So that's the main reason for that. The outer universe reason is because that's where the story is, you know. Technically, we could have the gods solve all the issues. And they're actually... I did not get through that, like I imagined. And they could technically just solve all the issues, but where's the fun in that, you know? Welcome back, video journal /chat. Move, I'm taking the wheel. Okay, I'm looking away then. You're controlling it, right? My hands are off the controller. You got this. Otherwise, they're lazy. Lol. They're not lazy, but yeah. Goodbye, everyone. I'll see you in therapy. Why can Aurelia appear through the fourth wall? I'm scared. She knows your address and everything, man. So Aurelia is not really peering through the fourth wall per se, but she's using the Aurora Sea, right? She weaponized it. She is using its sort of abilities to affect the life energy of the gods and everything. The sort of ether of magic for the pillars of magic. And she's using it to sort of become a threat to the divines themselves. So there's that. We're gonna get a new bus. I want a new bus. One moment, guys. We're getting a new one. Oh, Americano. Oh, boy. All right. We're approaching the end of the road. This is the end of the road. Hold on. Hold on. We're going to the next realm. Huh. Well, that was interesting. Well then, that's, Well, we have reached our stop. Yeah, that's gonna be the end of it. I was gonna keep going until we reach the end of the road. Literally. And, yeah, so let me double check if there's any questions in the Choose Your Own Adventure corner that I haven't gotten to real quick. And then we're gonna end the stream. There is no such thing as missing no. There's no missing no's. Okay. Here's the questions from KP yesterday. I told him I would answer him. What legendary Pokemon are present? The deer just gets name dropped at the end. All of them exist in the world. They just aren't known in Monster. and aren't really influence monster that much. Each legendary kind of has their own region to take care of. Does our Miss Golden Bird come from a humble start, or was she making the Meteor story up? She was not making the Meteor story up. Near the end of the third act. But, that never came to be. So, yeah. Another person I thought about killing off very briefly was Elias, but I never did. Why the birds be putting all their eggs in one basket? You don't know that. They're smart. Actually, wait. The most important question is whether intern and Kingdom are just the same guy. No, the intern is my servant, my slave, my serf, and he does my will. He has not seen the sun in 14 years. Different guy. Most importantly, what does the timeline look like? I'm gonna be making it an official Streamstein. There we go. My Wi-Fi dropped for a second there. I don't know why. So we probably better hurry this up. Anyways, from Yellowjack, is there a possibility of us meeting Suicune in Exilium? Zero possibility. You will not see Suicune in Exilium. I would never do that. Moon asks, can I have a cookie? No. I hate cookies. Online. Actually, I like raisin cookies. I like oatmeal raisin cookies. Those are really good. How did Spez's parents meet? I'm not quite sure. I didn't go that far. Maybe they met in Domus. I don't know. Shoot, who knows? People have lives. That was from Robo. You don't have to be so... You know, you can let people live, you know. You want their socials, too? Can we learn a bit more depth to what happened to the Team Acolyte after Spez came back? Also from Robo. Not really. I mean, here. Let's put a pin in that. We'll get back to that in a second. You can get a hug. Sure, why not? I think that's all the questions. Yeah, that's all. Okay, I guess that was, and like many others, what happened to Altus? No comment on Altus. So let's circle back to that question. It's going to be our last question. Can we learn a bit more in depth to what happened to Team Acolyte after Spaz came back? I'm going to leave that up to everyone else. I'm giving you full permission, and I'm very curious to see what people come up with. And it's not going to be canon, but I want to see what people come up with on writing short stories of what happened to Spez and Team Acolyte after the events of the Shattered Sea. I have no plans of really revisiting them in any meaningful way, because I kind of like the idea of letting them live their lives. They've been through 3 years of torment. I tormented them viciously, and they've done their part for Mansa. It's time for them to go out, explore, and really enjoy their lives, enjoy their adventures together. And it's kind of just an open-ended question for them of going out and enjoying life after a traumatic experience. So they are getting their rest. Enjoy the rest of your life, little Aurora, you know. So that's kind of like, you're not going to really learn much more about them because they've earned their rest, you know. They've earned their privacy. They've earned their, just being able to enjoy themselves. But I completely don't mind and would love to read people coming up with adventures for them. I think that would be really cool. The whispers once more guiding Spaz, you know. And of course it won't like be canon or anything like that, but it would be fun. I like fun. Now, here is the question I have that I'm going to answer for myself. Will I make another Choose Your Own Adventure? I think I am. I'm pretty sure I am. I'm going to be writing a new Choose Your Adventure. It's going to be a little bit. I want a bit of a break to just enjoy completing this project. Probably make a YouTube video about it. But I will be making a new Choose Your Own Adventure. In fact, I will be making 2 more. And I'm going to leave this up to the Patreons. I'm going to talk to the Patreons in the secret corner. And if you want to become a patron, it's completely optional. You can pay $1, $3, $5, $10 a month. Those are the 3 tiers. But you don't have to. It's not going to affect you like heavily because I'm pretty inconsistent on posting things on Patreon. So really, the most you get from the Patreon is I'll talk about ideas I have and like different sort of lore ideas I have. But that's about it. To be honest with you, that's about all you get. Anyways, I have the idea to do 2 new Choose Your Own Adventures. One is going to take place within the world of Mansa once more, telling more stories within the world of Mansa. And I am going to also tell another one taking place within the world of Avira, which is my own personal IP. That is my like fully original world. Telling about the story of Oral Chartis. There's a few other story ideas I have in mind I might do instead of Oral Chartis. But telling about the story of Auraria and their rise to power in that world. And so that there's going to be 2 of them, and the idea is I'm going to alternate between them. 1 week's PMD week, the next day is Avira week, and that's pretty much how it'll go. So I am going to do new Choose Your Own Adventures, so look forward to that. There is more coming. It's just going to be a little bit. I don't know how long my break's going to be. I'm essentially not going to start them until the itch to write is so overwhelming that I begin the next one, you know? So that's going to be kind of how we're vibing for now. And that's going to wrap up today. So, yeah. So, if you want the master doc... well, I'm going to be posting the master document after the stream as soon as I hit end stream, which is going to be any second, like in a minute or 2. And if you want the master document with the comments, I'm probably going to finish that by this evening. And if you want access to that, you got to join the Patreon. So, yeah, that's gonna be that. I think we're done here. We've reached our destination. Thank you so much for everyone who was part of the Shattered Seas, who read it, to those who, despite listening to all the spoilers, still want to read it. The master document is going to be in the Discord server, so that's going to be cool. That was a lot of fun. Let's get out of here before the Wi-Fi drops again. And, yeah, that was a lot of fun. Take care! Enjoy the severe pain. Bye!